curating the experiences firsthand.
Cool. And do you have any data? Or maybe, you can just provide an approximate numbers if you know. What is the conversion from community members to customers?
That's an excellent question. I don't know the numbers offhand. I will say that our conversion funnel is long. So we do not have a cheap product. Our trips start at $1,300 for a weekend away. So we know that it's not an impulse purchase, and we find that sometimes a traveler who signs up today might have heard about us from an article 2 years ago. And so it's definitely a longer funnel than normal, which is why we put so much emphasis on, I always say that, okay, so if you're going through the funnel, it's awareness, consideration, conversion. And then I like to say it comes back out to community. So I know that because our funnel is so long, we need to figure out a way to continue to engage, which is why that's so important to me. So I don't have exact numbers on our conversion rates because it is a little bit harder to measure than a clothing company, for example.
Yeah, cool. And any idea how many, just if we'll compare the amount of customers and people who just joined your community, what is the percentage of your referrals? Like how many community members are your active referrals?
20%.
Yeah. That's fantastic. I assume that's fantastic. If you leverage growth loops, if you add them, I assume this number will definitely
We'll do another
increase.
podcast a year from now and I'll tell you.
Cool. So I think it's right time for our Blitz questionnaire. And Stefan is a guy who is in charge of Blitz. So Stefan, just give Lilian an idea what it is.
Okay, Lilian. Blitz questionnaire is like, I'm going to give you questions and you have to answer the first thing that comes into your mind. Yeah?
All right. Rapid fire.
All right. What is your strongest skill?
Customer service.
Cool. What book impacted you the most?
Travel.
Well, book travel. Okay, what people do you listen to and why? Like, could be marketers, entrepreneurs, famous people.
Journalists.
Who is that? Can you give me an example?
I listen to a lot of podcasts from the New York Times, the BBC.
Okay, cool. Okay, if you were starting right now and could do one thing differently, what would it be?
I would hire sooner.
Cool. Okay, what's your number one learning experience from your journey?
That criticism is really hard to take.
So, okay, cool. Yeah. That was it. I'm actually extremely impressed that you as a female entrepreneur, you founded such a company. It's so rare, to be honest. And I'm extremely humbled that you are on our podcast. We haven't had any female entrepreneurs so far, and you're the first one. And this is really awesome, really, really awesome that you actually made it. So it's that's an example that it can be done. You can do it.
There's a lot of women in business out there. You guys can definitely find more.
Read your recommendations.
I will make some recommendations afterwards, but it's funny. A lot of people ask, what was your biggest challenge as a woman in business? And I'm like, I don't know. I've never been a man in business. But especially when I was starting and I was thinking, should I raise money? Should I bootstrap? The statistics for women in business, especially, I'm a white woman, so it's even worse for women of color. Let's get that out there. But it's 2% of all venture money goes to women-owned businesses. And I think in the States, it's 0.1% of all venture money goes to women of color in business, which is crazy. And I heard those stats and I thought, okay, I'm not going to waste my time then. I will figure this out on my own. And so I think it's really important for you guys to interview more women, because the more women you can promote, the higher up we can get, and therefore we are in better positions of power to help other women. So find more women to interview.
And our promise for you will definitely do it. And that's why you is the first woman on our podcast. And yep, we'll definitely continue this tradition.
So. I appreciate it.
Cool. Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate all of your inputs. Definitely we have the quote of the day, and the quote of this podcast, Lilian, has never been a man in the business. So that would be probably the name of our episode. I love it. I'm kidding. Just quick thing, with Stefan, we plan in the next couple of months to arrange a bootstrapped startup virtual summit. So we want to invite all of our podcast guests. We want to invite also other bootstrap startup founders, to just provide as much insights and about the entrepreneurial journey, about hiring, mistakes, whatever they can share, to motivate obviously more people to start bootstrap businesses. Because the biggest problem, like I'm running also 3 small businesses, I know like lots of people, and I had this hurdle, lots of people think, well, I can't start business without money, I can't do business bootstrap, maybe I should raise first. They waste lots of time on preparing slide decks, going nowhere with the slide decks, becoming disappointed. And all of our guests, and you especially today, is a great example that you can do bootstrap business, you can easily validate it, you just need to find the right product for the right market, and that's it. And then I have a fantastic support, creating a community, because one quote I love actually about the community, I'm listening to Sangram Vaira's podcast. He is a founder of Terminus, account-based marketing platform. And he says, without a community, you are a commodity. So that's a great example of what you have shared with us. Thanks a lot for your inputs. And I'm looking forward, first of all, to your interests, to other fellow women in business, and obviously we are looking forward to have you on our summit. Thanks a lot for your time, Lilian.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
All right, guys, switching off the podcast.